Controversial congestion pricing plan faces a deadline tomorrow, federal deadline. The Federal Highway Administration says the collection of the tolls must end by that date. Governor Hochul and the MTA have filed a lawsuit in response to the federal government pulling its approval of congestion pricing. That lawsuit yet to be decided. Joining us now is Jack Lester, counsel for New Yorkers against congestion pricing tax. Jack, welcome. Good to have you with us here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So where does your client's lawsuit against congestion pricing stand? And what are your thoughts on the MTA's lawsuit? You feel it's going to hold up?
Well, there are a number of cases pending. There's the environmental challenge, which is still pending because there was a reformation or a change in plan, which did not go through an environmental review. And then New Yorkers have challenged based upon the State Administrative Procedure Act, which requires that the government, the MTA in this case, do a socioeconomic impact analysis on how congestion pricing would affect economically vulnerable communities. And they did not do that. And that's the basis for the lawsuit under the Administrative Procedure Act.
So let me ask you, where does that stand right now? Because I know General Lieber is constantly peppered with questions about environmental studies, socioeconomic studies and whatnot. And he says, hey, we cleared all of those hurdles, and right now we are basically ironclad. Your thoughts when he mentions that?
Well, those lawsuits are still pending, and they have yet to be decided by Judge Lyman, who has all of these cases, and will decide the issue of congestion pricing with finality. So this whole issue has to be decided through the court process, and Judge Lyman has all the cases. He's consolidated all these cases, and he'll be reviewing all the issues in these cases. So the future of congestion pricing really depends upon judicial review.
Yeah, so it sounds as though, even though there is that kind of that federal mandate, not that the president can say, I don't want congestion pricing, so it automatically goes away. We know that's not going to happen. That's a little bit more bluster than actual reality. But what legal action could New Yorkers against congestion pricing tax take if those tolls do, and it looks as though they will, remain in effect beyond that federal deadline, which is tomorrow?
Well, all the actions have been taken. It just awaits judicial determination. So all of these controversies between the federal government, the state government, the community groups, all of these cases will have to be decided by Judge Lyman, and he will, at the district court level, issue a determination as to the future of congestion pricing, and that will go through the appellate process to the Second Circuit and then to the U.S. Supreme Court. So this is being controlled right now, not by the executive branch, not by the state government, but by the judicial branch of government.
So I think if I'm a commuter, and I am, and I'm paying a congestion pricing tax every day, whether I like it or don't like it, it sounds as though I'm going to be paying that tax for the foreseeable future.
Not for the foreseeable, until there's a judicial determination. Now, Judge Lyman can rule that the federal government had the right to terminate the process, and that would put an end to congestion pricing until there's an appeal to the Second Circuit. I think this case will go all the way to the Supreme Court because it presents novel and unprecedented issues as to the responsibilities and authority of the federal government versus the state government. It's a unique case, it's unprecedented, and it'll go all the way to the Supreme Court, is my prediction.
So, Jack, let me ask you that from a timeline standpoint. How soon could something like that happen if it should go all the way to the nation's highest court?
Well, that's the key question, because the timing, again, will depend upon Judge Lyman. He will have all of these issues briefed before him. He will hold a hearing sometime in the near future, and he will make a determination as to whether or not congestion pricing can be terminated based upon the federal government's unilateral termination, expulsion of congestion pricing. So it's really the focus here, and as it should be, is that to the rule of law, judicial determination. And we have we as New Yorkers against congestion pricing have great confidence in Judge Lyman's deliberative and analytical abilities, and we feel confident that this will be determined judicially in favor of the opponents to congestion pricing.
Do you have any indication of how quickly Judge Lyman will rule? Have there been any tea leaves out there?
I can't read Judge Lyman's mind, but he's been very expeditious on all of his decisions. He's been very comprehensive. He's paying close attention to this issue. And I think we're grateful to have him as the court that's going to be the initial determinative factor on these cases.
All right. Attorney Jack Lester. Jack, I know your phone's been burning up, obviously, with all these people, calling to either here or there. Which way are things going? Yeah.
I would like to say in conclusion, and this has been the position of New Yorkers against congestion pricing, that the rule of law should be the dominant feature here, not unilateral action by the federal government or illegal action by the state of New York, but the rule of law should predominate.
Well, President Trump is